Hello, 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 and welcome back to another very exciting episode of Mind the Force, a nerdy podcast about Star Wars and mental health. I am one half of this illustrious host team, Kristine McPartland-Smith.
Jedi Master James Abbate.
Always lovely to be here with you, James. Always lovely.
Likewise, across coast, but nothing brings us together like Star Wars.
Right? Well, I mean, it's like 100 degrees in Vegas and it's 25 degrees in New York. We're a perfect balance.
I love it. It's Jedi Sith. Literally, you're having record lows over there, like negative a million degrees, and I'm having like 108
Oh,
degrees.
stop.
No, it's good. Well, yeah,
Oh,
fuck
stop.
you. Like,
You let Nevada change your blood.
you Eskimos over there,
Big
Canada
big
Junior.
Oh,
Ice
come on, man.
fishing.
You're new shut the fuck up. Not ice fishing. It's not that cold
I
here,
know. I
man.
just always throw shade. I love New York, but yeah, we're getting record heat, and it's a bit of an aside, but yeah. So let's hop in, I guess, with our favorite Sith Lord.
I know we're back for part 2 of Dooku to suss out
Dooku.
what this Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, we could cut that little part. Well, keep
No,
the
we're
pun.
absolutely not.
No, keep the pun, but then cut everything after that.
So part 2 of Dooku to look at his time during the Clone Wars, which I think is when it's important to dissect like his actions and kind of where his mind was, but also like still like the actions that he inflicted in his pursuit of what he thought was right. I have so many big questions. I'm so excited. But of course, before we get into the big business, we have the little business. So to stay up to date on everything Mind the Force, please check us out in all the places. You have mindtheforce.com. You have Facebook. You have Instagram. That's all, because I can't have TikTok on my phone. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, do all the stuff on all your favorite podcast listening platforms. You have Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Music, Castbox, Podcasts, all of them. Hit the link tree, hit the clickables in that link tree, and have yourself a good time. And of course, shoot us a 5-star rating, because that's how the internet knows we're cool. And for all of your big Star Wars thoughts, feels, questions, and smoke, please hit us up at mindtheforcepodcast@gmail.com. We'll be there waiting for you.
Smoke us up like Anakin on Mustafar. That's how we want to feel. So, speaking of spoilers, Mind the Force podcast is a retrospective on Star Wars characters across all Star Wars content. So, all films, TV shows, novels, comic books, video games, you name it, they're up for discussion. If you don't want any aspect of currently released Star Wars content to be spoiled, just turn around and head out the door, and then come back after you've watched it.
So the last we left off on our naughty guy. He had just murked Yaddle and got knighted as Darth Tyrannus by our favorite big bad, Darth Sidious. And I mean, from our perspective, things aren't going great, but from his perspective, things are going not so
He's
bad.
he's on top of the new order, the new galactic order, right?
Exactly. And one of the first things that he does, as far as like where we are in the timeline, is at this point because we're at around, are we around
32
33? Yeah.
BBY.
Yeah.
It's 32.
Around,
It
yeah,
has
we're
to
around
be after Phantom Menace because Yaddle's in that movie.
Yes. And what happens around this time is when he is pretty much like, I don't want to say manipulated, more or less manipulating, like using Sifo Dyas to get like, no, Sifo Dyas has the clone army made, like he commissions them with the Kaminoans, and Dooku knows this because Sifo Dyas, like I had mentioned before, has visions, and he foresees the Clone Wars. He sees this like huge conflict, this huge civil war, tries to tell the council. Of course, the council doesn't listen. You'd think they'd start listening to Sifo Dyas after a couple of decades of him just being right, but as usual, the Jedi and their fucking hubris But anyway, and he's like, I have to do something. And so goes to Camino, lies essentially, and says, hey, the Senate sent me to commission a clone army.
Behalf of Sifo Dyas, yeah.
Right? And when Dooku gets wind of this, he's like, ooh, that sounds useful. Yeah, that's gonna work right in Sidious's plans. And then has Sifo Dyas killed so that like he can't like
Hijacks it.
interfere.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
he
He's a
hijacks
messy
this
wrinkle.
army, has the Pike Syndicate, like hires the Pike Syndicate to kill Sifo Dyas, and then like sets his and then like frames his death as like they went on some like diplomatic mission and Sifo Dyas died, and so sad because that was like his best friend growing up, so it's very sad. One of the many people he threw under the bus. And
Right.
so then
All people
fast
are
forward,
just a an obstacle or an instrument, right?
right, everybody's disposable. Which even later on, this is jumping a little bit into the future, but aside from killing his best friend, don't forget that he's already killed his brother. His brother was trying to do the whole dictator thing. He will also go on at the start of the Clone Wars, around like 23 BBY. At this point, he already has like roped in Ventress as his like apprentice. Not to question the rule of two that's always in play.
Right, but they
So
always
that's
have
why they're
secret apprentices to,
apprentice.
yeah.
And one of the early assassinations that he has Ventress commit is actually his own sister. The one that he like loved his whole life, that he stayed in touch with from his childhood. Dooku's in his like 60s, knocking on 70 at this point.
But if he was born
Um,
in 102, wouldn't by 22 wouldn't he be 80? If by the beginning of the Clone Wars?
Correct. Yes, thank you. See, that's why you're good with the math. I'm
Yeah.
not good with the math. I count things on my fingers and toes like an
I
idiot.
I good with words, yeah.
I good with words, I bad with numbers. Um yeah, so when he's around 80 years old, he has Ventress kill his sister because his sister is trying to convince him like you're being manipulated
Get out of the
by
cult, yeah.
she calls him a hooded figure. You're being manipulated by this hooded figure, like he's lying to you.
He's like, shut up,
Essentially trying to
Scientology's real. Shut up. That's what he's basically saying.
right.
He's like, we're told about
um
people like you, family members. Get out of my life.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Hubble was a Lord and Savior. Yeah, no, and his sister tries to essentially pull him back to like a not so much back to the light. She's not a Jedi, but like away from the dark side. He's like, fuck that, and has Ventress, and pretty much like his paranoia at this point, which I do want to circle back to, is like through the roof. Paranoia is absolutely through the roof, and he thinks that his sister's gonna like sell him out to the Jedi, and he's like, you need to get gone. Like you need to not be a problem anymore.
Right.
So
It's not just personally, it's politically and professionally. You're becoming an obstacle, yeah. To the
yeah.
cause, to the
And
greater cause.
I think that really speaks to, I think, two things I really want to like bring up with Dooku particularly, because I think I'd like to get a little more like theoretical and like psychological, because I mean, if you want to see what Dooku does in the Clone Wars, you should go watch Clone Wars the animated series. It's a masterpiece. But I think what the paranoia that he constantly like has throughout this time in his life really started back when we saw him like fight with Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi, is he goes to Sidious and he says like, what have I done? Like what am I
Yeah.
doing? I'm betraying everyone I
Well,
know.
like
I'm
Anakin's
betraying
like, what have I
everything.
done when he kills Mace? Yeah, same thing, yeah.
Exactly the
That
same
moment.
thing of like, oh my god, what I do. The only one that never had that was Palpatine when he murdered his family. He did not question what he did.
Well, someone's got to be a G, you know, and
Right.
cold
Right. Right.
to run the galaxy. He's like, can't
Right.
feel anything,
Um
man.
That's why he plays the long game. Um, but it's that guilt, I think, that eats at him. And I think it's that same paranoia that presses him to murder his sister, to think like, no, like all my actions are going to come down on my head if I don't keep control of the situation. This fucked up house of cards that I've built, trying to essentially like reach the sun, trying to reach this pinnacle of rightness, trying to save everyone. This house of cards is going to topple if it's exposed the things that I've done to get there. Like in his
Right.
mind, the ends have justified the means, but it's almost like, but like, don't look at what the means were to get here, because I'm still right. Like, I'm still in pursuit of this right thing, but I can't look too closely at what I've done to get there. I think that there's also this large question that I think we'll always kind of ask with, especially with Jedi who falls to the dark side, is that sense of like, are Dooku and Darth Tyrannus the same person? Which I think is the like ever the constant question of like Anakin versus Darth
Yeah.
Vader. It's the same thing. Like, are like, is Dooku harboring all this guilt and this paranoia while Tyrannus is just like, shut up. Dark side, dark side.
Right. It's a which side sort of wins out in the end. Anakin was redeemed. Dooku obviously faced a different fate where there was no redemption or force ghosting after that. He was just, I guess, a void, right? Just nothing.
Right. Right. Or
Stupid Sith Lord, yeah.
my favorite line in the entirety of the Star Wars universe. Like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did. Like, that's
Wow.
that inference that like you're
You're
talking
battling it.
to,
You're
yeah, like
duking it
you're
out.
talking to like this dark side
It's
entity
like
that has
go.
taken over.
It's Smeagol Gollum. It's like go away and never come back. That's what it's
Right?
like.
And
And Dooku Tyrannus says that to Dooku. Yeah.
right, and like, is it split personality? Is it like a different entity? Like the concept of like the cosmic force? Is it like a different soul?
I look at it
Are
as hot
souls a
and cold.
concept?
Yeah. I in Star Wars.
Yeah, they used to the concept
I
souls.
I think I think by the sheer fact that you could physically see the souls, I think
Right?
it's like it's actually more confirmation of that the Force exists in. Well, it's our universe, right? It's far away, just a long time ago.
Right?
Maybe Nietzsche was right. God is dead. The Force is dead. Who knows? But anyway, it's well.
That's a different episode.
I look at it as more as like hot and cold water. It just how much you're gonna turn the faucet. I look at it as you just
Right?
turn it all the way to hot, you know,
Right?
or all the
Is
way
it
to
like a
cold.
doc is it like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of situation?
Which I love. They're actually great at that. And the whole geopolitics that plays into this, we see it now without getting too political, like with World War III, World War IV, all that stuff, sham wars. A lot of stuff is being fought for a cause, and he becomes the face of it as the noble face, not just through his nobility, but an actual like good guys like separatists join me. The republic is corrupt, it's stale, it's stodgy, it's old, it's against your interests. You're only paying your taxes to rich oligarchs. Join me, come with me
Right?
if you want to live. And he basically, what does he do? So Maul needs to go because he's thought dead, robotizing at not robotussing, but robotizing at this point. And Palpatine's like, I need a new apprentice. So he puts him in. They hijack Sifo Dyas's plan for the army for the clone army because they need that to overthrow the Jedi. He needs a trusted front. It's like a mafia front. He needed this Count of Serrano to lead the Separatists
Yeah.
because he's like, who's more legit than this guy? Clearly, he's got the credentials. He knows what he's doing. He's going to lead you into battle. Him and Grievous team up. They form the opposition at this period in Star Wars. It's happened in the past, the Mandalorian Wars, Sith Wars, all this stuff. But in the prequels, this is the first like real galactic war that's going on. And who better? So Palpatine installs him. So they got the army created. Emergency war powers justified. Palpatine's now, Supreme Chancellor, and we see this echoing in the real world too. How power and war are used to ultimately keep creating more of the same, more war, more power. And he's
Yeah.
like, great. He knows what he's doing. He's the king of gaslighting, Dooku, because in episode 2 he comes off as this moral figure, but it's inverted justice, inverted morality, because at the end he's taunting and torturing Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's like, what are you talking about? He's like, a Sith Lord controls the Senate. If I were Obi-Wan, I'd be like, he's talking about the Chancellor. But again, I guess he's clouded.
Eh.
Common sense is clouded too. But my wrapping this all up, it's like, okay, you know, he is a bit sadistic. He is Sithy about it. He is very like enjoying this to a degree. But he, just as he's the front and the face of the Separatists and Sith cause, so is his morality. He's putting on that layer, that false layer, that Jekyll, Mr.
Yeah.
Hyde sort of to or he's putting on the Jekyll so he can be Hyde. That's what it is. So he can go out in daylight. So he can live in the night.
Right? Yeah, so he can, I mean, justify his actions to everyone else and probably justify them to himself. Like at the end of the day,
Right.
like this is someone who has to live with himself. And like I think about like the Dooku that was with Qui-Gon, who wanted a better world, who wanted justice, who wanted to like see corruption like etched out. Like, but it's like, what do you do when like you're trying to oust, like you can't oust the corrupted government with a more corrupted government. But I mean, he didn't think that's what he was doing.
Well,
Like, I mean, no,
mhm.
history, I guess
That's
the
history.
victor, yeah, the victors write the history.
Mhm, mhm.
And
And to the victors
so
belong the
ever
spoils. Yeah.
yeah, no, and so everyone on their side thinks that they're right. And it's just he thought he was right. He thought this was what was necessary. He thought that this brutality was necessary. Like this is what the like almost like what Vader like feels later. It's like the galaxy will only understand like
Might.
violence and
Mhm.
then
An iron
dissent and like
fist.
leading through fear. Like that's like what he was convinced to believe. And like this is like the ends will justify the means. Like when we get to the end of Yellow Brick Road, all the blood that we shed all over it, it's gonna be fine. It's
I'll
gonna
be
be
sitting
worth
on
it.
top in utopia, right? Well, you see it. You see it throughout history. You see when the Soviets overthrew the Tsar, um, Castro overthrew Batista. Well, let's get outside of communism. Well, we overthrew the socialist Iranian state in what 53 through RCI. The Shah was installed. Then the Ayatollahs overthrew the Shah. It's like, okay, what comes next is always sort of worse. Or even like now,
Right?
Assad is now replaced by ISIS. Like you can look around the world. You know, we're the republic, but it's like you can argue as well, like, we're an insidious force on the world stage as well. I mean, really, what I'm trying to get at is even in Star Wars as well, the Republic, it is a form of evil, and he's twisting truth and giving half truths. He's like, yes, I'm identifying the problem, but what he wants is way worse. It's actually like a demonic force, really. The Sith. It's just pure evil in my mind. And that ushers in, look, the Empire,
Potato,
right?
potato.
But he thought, right, I guess, right. It's all. But my point is, he thought he would be. He no, he thought he would be on top at the end, and that's. But I like how that karmic element happens in history as well. You think you're going to be around to see the revolution, but no, you were just a pawn. But just as he used people like Quinlan Vos, Asajj Ventress, Anakin, even Grievous, he used people,
Savage Press.
planets, Savage Opress. He used people and entire planets for his own design, not realizing he would be betrayed in the end too. It's like Zinoviev and Kamenev and Lenin shot. Oh no, sorry, not Lenin. Stalin shot them. There's always one guy behind you with the barrel of a gun, and you think you're gonna live to enjoy all the fruits of your harvest. But it's a poison. It's a poison harvest, and that's what
Yeah.
Dooku. To me, boiling this down, it's the tragedy of Darth Tyrannus the not so wise. He thought that he was wiser beyond his years in his age and his experience, but in the end, he was a fool, and he was fooled, and that's what his bane was.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I guess we see and I keep coming back to like this juxtaposition with Anakin and Vader because there's so much overlap. It makes me want to make a Venn diagram. Um
An Asajj
that
Ventress diagram.
right? Shut up.
It's got to keep you awake.
You're killing me with the fucking puns, man.
It's late in New
Right? It's
York for
almost
her,
a
earlier in
right. It's
Vegas, so I
late
got
in
to
New
keep her
York.
alive.
Killing me. That you have Anakin, like who was like obviously like influenced and groomed from a very young age. Then you had Dooku, who was then converted at a much like older point in his life. Um, where it's almost like where like Anakin was really like clay that was like molded from the beginning. Dooku, I guess maybe in a way was kind of waiting. Like he was waiting for somebody to come and give him permission to like make it okay to pursue the things that he wanted. And it's like Sidious comes along and it's like, oh, like this can give me the power and control to change things the way that I want. Like this power will be a vehicle for change and for good. Like this is going to make the galaxy a better place. And I guess I just find it interesting that it happened like so late in his life that I think that is what made him so impressionable. Despite the fact that like he wasn't an impressionable young child, but like he was still
But he's hardened in his
coerced
ways.
and
You ever see an old
yeah.
cantankerous man? He's like, you could show him reality. And he's like, I got my ways. This is how I'm this old. I'm not going to change teams now. You know, I've been going to Yankees games since I was
Yeah.
young. I'm not going to be a Mets
Right.
fan now. That's kind of how he is. He's just like, I'm set in my ways. Even if I'm wrong, I'm still going to be right. Like, that's just, I think that's a
Right.
factor of age.
Right? That's a good way to put it. Like even if I'm wrong, I'm still going to be
It's
right. I
I'm
have to
me.
be
I'm the
right.
star of my show. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of
like
how he is.
there has to be like a reason, an explanation that I've always felt this way, like a justification for why I've always felt this way. And Sidious gave him
That
that
right.
vehicle.
That deal with
And
the
I
devil.
think
He saw power and order. He saw the alternative to the chaos was the Republic.
yep. And it just made him very vulnerable. And I guess I like almost want to like pick through his brain in that exact moment, because it wasn't like some like other kind of like levels of betrayal where it happens even like over in kind of course of time, or you have to sit with the betrayal. Like Maul sat with his betrayal for like how many decades, multiple times over. Like Dooku thought he was on top of the world. Like think about like that last battle where like Palpatine was kidnapped and he's battling with Anakin. He's thinking, "Oh, like the culmination of like all of our work's about to come to a head. Like the Clone Wars is coming to an end soon. Like I know that we're working with this bigger picture and everything's like finally coming to a head and we're going to move forward into this new era of like
Utopia.
justified like your great utopia." And in that moment when like Anakin has him and he thinks like, "Oh, this kid thinks he fucking got me. He doesn't have shit. Like I'm here with my guy and like these guys don't even know what's going on." Until that 1 second when when Palpatine's like, "Kill him."
Yeah, it's
What
literally
is
an
it? What is
execution.
he?
It's a death sentence. He orders
It's,
his own apprentices as
right?
execution. Yeah.
And
Yeah, he
what
looks and
is
he's like,
that
"How
like?
could you?" Well, he knew he was Sidious, right? By that point, because they were
I'm
dealing.
pretty
Well, he
sure.
said
I'm
who runs on who's the influence of the
I'm
Sith Lord.
like
He
I'm
also
like
Maul
90%
knew,
sure he knew.
Maul knew, so he
Maul
had to.
knew. Yeah, Maul knew.
So
Daddy
he let
knew
him
what
in
was
on that
going
because
on.
he's like
Maul knew.
he's gotta meet him outside his office. He's like, why are we always meeting outside of Palpatine's office? He's like, because it's a good balcony, like.
I'm almost positive
That's why he was so shocked and awed. He's
Dooku.
like, my whole world ends now because I put all my faith in you,
Yeah.
devil. And you're here to kill me now. What kind of
Yeah, yeah, he's
bargain is
fully
this?
aware. Yeah, he's according to Google. He's fully aware. Yeah, because like they faked that kidnapping. It's not a real kidnapping.
But his
Yeah,
heart
he
was
knew.
broken in that moment. It's like when they freeze frame
Yeah,
Ralph Wiggum when Lisa breaks heart. Like that's how he felt. He's like,
right.
and I
And
love the
it's
comics too. You just see his like bloody head. They just see a little bounce in the film, but in the comics he looks like all stupid. It's like like oh my god,
um but
and his
yeah, no,
hands.
it's interesting. It's almost like like yes, like he is a fool and his story is tragic. But I guess he didn't have to live in that foolishness for more than what, 10 seconds at most.
Lucas and Filoni are very good at extrapolating real like history and putting it into their work really just making it campy but like I think Dooku actually got a lot more screen time than most characters when you actually look at the length of the Clone Wars and all the media. Like he's probably in more not cinema but more like screen time than like Han Solo, for instance. Like he's, if you add up the hours, he's probably got more
Yeah,
on
right.
screen. Maybe we can ask
Maybe.
Grok.
Um
But wait, so like it all ties in into how like like I read a lot of like I have a morbid fascination with like in the Tudors and the Soviets. I like to read their last letters and their writings and see like
ooh,
their
that's a good
inversion.
hobby.
Well, because it shows you human nature. It's like reality
Yeah.
versus expectations. There's no sharper contrast between what you thought was going to happen your whole life, between those last hours when you're in the Tower of London or in your cell or in the Lubyanka about to be shot. It's like, no, no,
Yeah.
no. And I read, they're like, please, Henry VIII, I love you. I'm so, you know, I prostrate myself before you. Like, what,
Yeah.
is there anything I could do? Or like Stalin, why do you need me to die? Please. Like Bukharin, he's like, please. And Stalin would always look at that letter. He was found in his drawer when he died in his death drawer. He'd always look at it.
Hmm.
That's
Interesting.
that same mentality. That's what I saw in Dooku. Well, after I read those things, I
Hmm.
love that they capture. You see all of that in his eyes. You see that moment in that horror is not that I'm going to die. It's that my faith was misplaced. I was wrong. That's
Right.
what
I
that's
was
what his Achilles
wrong.
heel is. I was wrong.
Right. Right.
I
And then
misplaced my faith. Right.
right in that second,
The
like that
rubber
last
hit the
second.
road. Yeah.
And I think that's what's sad is that like he just there like it's very almost like very lonely. Like
Right.
his whole
He
life. Like
wanted one person to love.
he just wanted
It's
someone to love him and understand him. He thought that it could be he didn't find it with his family. I think he had it with his sister, and I think that the
right.
dark
And
side really ruined that as it does.
he burnt bridges.
He couldn't find it with the Jedi, like he couldn't then he thought he could find it with Sidious in like this like new mindset, and in the end he was wrong
It
again.
was a cult. He's like, Papa Pappy, like, come on, Papa Palpy, come on, love me. And it's like, you don't love me? I thought we had a thing going. You crazy devil, you like you evil person who's killed everyone else, but not me. I'm your number two. Who does
Right?
number two work for? We were supposed to do this together. We're a team. And he's like, oh God, I'm just an instrument now. And when he realized that, just flesh. It's
Yeah,
brilliant because he only featured like 5 minutes in the beginning of episode three, so that started off that movie with a bang.
right. I forgot that was right at the beginning, episode 3. Like it's like his death wasn't just a tragedy, like it was just a full like you said, realization of just like I'm wrong. And like when your entire identity is just like centered around like I am necessary. I'm what's needed. I am like the
This is the
force in the universe that's
this is the
going to
main
bring about
camera,
this
yeah.
change. And then you find out you're just no longer needed. Like you were just a pawn, you were just like a piece in the
It's
plan.
it's like dating someone and you feel you get used by them. You're like, oh, I guess we're not about forever, Like we've all felt that way.
Right?
And to him, there was, I mean, emotions come in, love, hate, especially a Sith who doesn't detach themselves. But all Jedi are emotional. I'm sorry, I haven't met an unemotional Jedi yet. But like, I really think that you kind of see that and that real like human psychology in that moment of brokenness where he thought he was noble, he thought he was on top of everything, and in the end, I mean, he got what he deserved. I'm not gonna, cry a dirge for him, but like, there is that human element where it's heartbreaking because we've all experienced that, where it's like,
Mm,
ah, man, things didn't go my way. That's life,
yeah,
uh, uh, Dooku made plans and Sidious left.
right. And if you really want to bring it full circle, and I'll end on this little sad note, as this is a sad story. Sidious really threw Dooku away, just kind of like his dad did when he was a baby. They just threw him away, left him in the forest to
Daddy
die,
wasn't there, yeah.
essentially.
hmm And it's like
Star
I'm
Wars,
gonna I'm
daddy
gonna
issues. There's
he's like,
daddy
I'm gonna
issues out the
double
wazoo.
down because you think you escape it, but it's like no, you get more of that and worse. Now you're dead, and it's like oh, what was my life? Just a series of daddy issues, right? That's
Just
what.
a
What
series of daddy issues. That's the tragedy of Darth Tyrannus the Fool.
yeah,
Daddy
yeah,
issues out the
daddy issues.
wazoo.
If you're gonna boil it down, yeah. But I mean, but again, R.I.P. Christopher Lee. Really brought his stage presence and his classical training to this. Made that character such a
Oh my god.
believable person.
It wouldn't be the same because think about like Christopher Lee and then think about like the Clone Wars just you could do like Dooku was royalty. That was an uppity man. That was just the perfect nobility, the haughty air, the regal chin.
And
Like
he was a bit Batman-y with his black cape. There was a kind
that's
of
a bit
like,
Batman-y.
Wayne Manor, Count of Sereno. Like he was. a vigilante in a way, because he was an illegal government, being the Separatist, trying to form his own thing with the Techno Union, the
Right?
banking clans, and the commerce and all them, and the
Ah,
droids. Like,
Dooku was Batman.
he,
Like, or
he
he thought he was Batman.
right, right. That was the thing. He's like, I'm going to take it upon myself to save the Republic, being Gotham, or Gotham being the Republic. That was his savior complex. Unfortunately, he was just so wrong about his morals. They were inverted. Qui-Gon was right. Yoda was right. That's why he hated them. And
Yeah.
he didn't have patience. A lot of it was he just wanted no man, no problem, as Stalin says. Just cut off
Mhm.
their head. Versus Qui-Gon and Yoda, they resolve
Mhm.
things in the long game in smart ways, and he never really had the patience or the discipline to achieve what they did.
I'm going to send out this one last thought because I think it's always a good time to take some shots at Yoda. That Yoda be knowing stuff, man, because he let him keep his lightsaber and chose like, no, you're a Jedi no matter what. Bullshit, Yoda. I don't know what you know, but after 900 years, you know some shit, and I feel like his moves through the galaxy were a little too specific
Well,
to
also,
not know what was going on. I don't
well,
trust it. I don't
all
trust that
right.
little green fuck as far as I can throw him, and I can throw him pretty far. He's tiny.
Well, that's honestly, think of Yoda's track record. He pretty much won every mental battle, lightsaber duel, everything in his life. The only time, two times, well, the one time he lost, I would say, or they were both kind of draws because they both walked away living, was with Palpatine in Episode 3 and with Dooku at the end of Episode 2, because Yoda wanted to save Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Dooku's like, my only way out of here is his care and compassion for others, being a stupid fucking Jedi. So I'm gonna throw this thing down so that they get crushed, because now I can make my getaway. And Yoda would have slice and dice them had they kept going,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's just all so convenient. And then, of course, like, I mean, it's still canon, no matter what the haters say. And at the end of Acolyte, like,
Oh,
he knew what happened with the Divergence and with Plagueis and with Chimera, and just, oh, this is another episode for me to get super angry about what Yoda knew. That's going to be the title. That's going to be the episode title. What the
what
fuck
did
Yoda
what
knew.
did Yoda know? Yeah.
Everything. I think he knew everything. But that's
Him and
another
Jar Jar,
tangent
man.
for another day.
Yep.
Him and
Well,
fucking Jar Jar.
I hope we did justice to Dooku and his character. Very nuanced, very three dimensional. I hope you all enjoyed too as well. Throw us your opinions as well, and your thoughts, because we're unraveling this ball of yarn as well. We'd like to see more of what the fans think, and anything that you ever want us to follow up on, we always can in later episodes.
Oh my god, I would love that. Whether it's on like email chain, or maybe we should start a Reddit page and let the discourse fly.
We'll have like super chats and all that stuff. Yeah,
Right?
we can make some money.
Right? Like,
If you guys want to throw shade and coins at us, we will take both.
right? Right. Matt and Andrea, write that down.
Patreon, yeah,
Um
let's do it.
this has been another very exciting episode of Mind the Force. As Jay mentioned, hit us up with the smoke and the questions and the feels at mindtheforcepodcast@gmail.com. Check out mindtheforce.com and the Facebook and the Instagram. Follow us on all the pages, the Spotify's, the Apple Podcasts, and all that stuff. Shoot us those 5 stars. And we will see you guys next time for another illuminating episode. May the force be with you, and stay mindful.